Share each other's burdens, and in this way, obey the law of Christ. Galatians 6, verse 2. What's up, y'all? Welcome to 30-Second Sermons. Day 21 of this 21-day challenge. This is the final day of the challenge. Now, this doesn't mean that it's over. In fact, what this means is by now, this should be something that you're doing every day by habit. It should be a habit for you. The whole purpose of this 21-day challenge was to create a good habit. See, as I've said in the beginning, we all have habits. Some are bad, some are good. And sometimes the only way to get rid of a bad habit is to create a good habit. In fact, we create habits and really don't even think about it sometimes. So, if this is the first time you've seen this challenge, I encourage you to go back. You can see these videos on YouTube or on Facebook. Go back to the beginning and start this 21-day challenge with me. 3 simple steps. First step, open your eyes. That's an easy one. You wake up in the morning, you got that. Second step should be immediately after the first step. If your Bible or your phone with your Bible app on it is right next to your bed, I encourage you to grab that thing before your feet hit the floor. Read it first thing. Otherwise, you're leaving a chance for something to come in and interrupt you. So the second step again is open the Word. Read the verse of the day. Don't let anything distract you. Third step, and this one should be repeated throughout the day. Ask God what it is that He wants you to do, what He's trying to show you in this verse. Open your heart. That's the third step. Hopefully, guys, if y'all done this 21-day challenge with me, hopefully you see a change throughout your day. Hopefully you see a change in your perspective on how you handle things and what you're doing throughout the day. Do me a favor, if you've done this challenge all the way through, or if maybe you're halfway through, maybe you started a little late, that's cool. Leave me some comments. Let me know what's happening with you. Let me know the changes that you're seeing. This is one of the best ways I found, and most simple ways that I found to grow your relationship with God and to get closer to Him. Let's get into the Word today. Jesus was not a socialist. Did I just say that? So check this out. Socialism, the reason I'm talking about socialism in this verse is because it says here to share each other's burdens. Okay? And some people might twist that around and say, well, that's kind of like a socialist government there. Don't get it twisted. See, that doesn't work with free will. Forcing somebody to do something or not giving them the choice in doing something takes away their free will. Free will is something God gave us right off the bat. He gave us free will to be able to choose between right and wrong, to choose to be moral or immoral, to choose to follow Him or not, to choose to help others or not help others, right? Now, yes, this is a command that God gave us. This is a command that Jesus gave us. Whenever this verse says to share each other's burdens and in this way obey Christ's command. The command that they're talking about is the one when the Pharisees and Sadducees tried to trip Jesus up and they asked Him, which command is the greatest command? Because they wanted to see now we see 10 commandments, or we think of 10 commandments a lot, but there was hundreds. They wanted to see which one that He said was the most important one, because in their eyes, they were the eyes of the law. They believed all of them were important, but they also believed that they had to do something to get closer to God, as far as if they followed all these commands, then they were better than others. Then that set them in a different standard. And when Jesus came, He changed all that, and he summed everything up into 2 commands. They asked Him for one, He gave them 2. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. And love your neighbor as yourself. And he said that summed everything up. See, first you got to love God. That he gave him these commands in a certain order for a certain reason. Because if you don't know God, then you don't know love. And look, this is a struggle for every human, because we have our own desires and we have our own way of doing things that gets in the way of God's way. It's our choice to follow God. So if we know God, then we know love, because we know what he's done for us and we know what his love for us is. And that's the only way we can know what love is. We have our idea of love, but it's flawed. Guaranteed. So, in order for us to be able to share each other's burdens and in this way obey the law of Christ, we have to know what the law of Christ is. And he said to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And this is how it's all brought together. So you can't force anybody to believe the way you believe, whether it comes to your relationship with God, to your political beliefs, to your just day-to-day what you believe in anything. You can't force anybody to believe that. And if you do force somebody, first, you're a controlling jerk, but second, what they're feeling isn't true. So let me explain this. This is why I say Jesus wasn't a socialist. Socialism will take away from you through taxation and everything else, and redistribute is what they say, right? But you're forcing somebody to help others by doing that. That's not what Christ wanted. That's not what he said. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's forcing somebody, that's taking away their free will, and that just doesn't work. So we should willfully want to help others. And that doesn't mean that it's all got to be done at this higher government level, because see, that's the other thing, is socialism is about government controlling everything. For instance, real small side note here, to all my business owners, if you own a business in a socialist government, you will not own that business. The government will own your business. That's a fact. And you can Google it and look it up. No one can own their own business in socialism. The government owns your business. They distribute everything. So, how is that giving you the opportunity to follow the love of Christ? Now, what that does is that puts you under a thumb and it puts you being controlled. See, that doesn't mean that somebody in a socialist government can't follow the law of Christ. It's just a different situation. We live in a society, we live in a country that is built on freedom, the freedom to choose, which is the free will that God gave us. That's one of the things that makes America so great. So, again, Jesus wasn't a socialist. He was into he was into freedom. That's what he came to do. He came to set the captives free. He came to free the oppressed. And that doesn't mean this minority and this minority that feels like they're being oppressed and everything else. He came to free everyone from the oppression of sin. That's a bigger deal than anything that we feel we're oppressed from today. And I believe that anybody can feel oppressed if they really want to get into their feelings. He came to set the captives free. We're all captives. We're all captivated. We're not captivated, but I guess we can be. We're all captives of sin. We're all oppressed by sin, no matter what that sin is. And he came to set us free from that. And that's the most important thing. That's following the law of Christ, and sharing each other's burdens is helping each other out and being able to It's being able to be there for somebody whenever they need you. Sometimes you can be there by helping them financially if that's the burden that they're going through, or maybe the burden they're going through is some life that you've gone through similarly. Maybe they've lost a loved one and they're on a path to self-destruction because they don't know how to operate without that loved one being there. Well, maybe the way you can help them and share that burden is to share with them what it was like to go through that yourself, and let them know that you can make it through. If you made it through, they can make it through. Sharing your testimony is how you share that burden. Also by doing acts of love and kindness and things like that. But your testimony is the best way to share a burden with somebody else. Hey y'all, I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this video and listen to me ramble on a little bit today. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, but mostly share. I say it every time, almost every time, and I believe this with all my heart. The best way to encourage one another is through God's words. Hebrews 3:13 says to encourage one another daily while it's called a day, so that we're not hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. When you feel, that's another way to share burdens with someone, is to encourage each other. I don't know your story, you don't know mine, but maybe I'm going through something that you've been through similarly and you can help me out. That's encouragement. Guys, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.